Very excited, as is Michael, and frankly, as is Curtis behind the glass here for our interview.
This is the coolest guest we've ever had.
You know she's excited. She called me Michael.
I know.
You know she's excited.
I just don't know why Curtis has his shirt on. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's, you know what? Look, it took him all of 2 seconds. It's the second you walked in the building.
As soon as I walked in, he pulled his shirt off. I'm like, hey, nice to meet you. Okay, Curtis, nice to meet you.
Started
I'm just kidding. Give him Curtis a hard time. He's blushing right now. He's turning
exactly
red.
what it was. Paul Wight joins us in studio, you guys. Huge weekend in Seattle. AEW is going to be here. It's going to be at Climate Pledge. It starts Saturday, September 30th. There's going to be stuff Sunday as well. We're going to talk about these events. We're going to talk about where you can find tickets. We're going to talk about all of it. But first, we're going to talk to Paul Wight. Paul, how's it going?
Fantastic. Wow, that was a nice segue. That was very smooth right into it.
Thank you.
And then you took control of the interview and like, how are you? Like right now, I'm like, well, I'm good. I had a good breakfast. And,
yeah. Like, how are you feeling?
How am I feeling? Do I still have feelings after 28 years in the wrestling business? I don't
maybe not.
know. I don't know. No, I'm feeling great. Fantastic. Excited to be back in Seattle. Excited for this weekend. AEW takes over Seattle. We have Collision Saturday night at Climate Pledge Arena.
Yep.
Sunday, we have Wrestle Dream. There's so many good matches on that Wrestle Dream show. It's any one of those matches, literally, and I've been in this business a long time, any one of those matches could be a match and a main event anywhere in the country.
Nice. You're in the business. You've been in the business a long time.
Yeah, when God said, let there be light, I flipped the switch. I got it.
Been in it for a while. You've seen how it's changed, how it stayed the same. What's the difference between the wrestle game in 2023 and then, say, like 05, back when I was just diehard about this whole thing?
I go back a little further, even 95. The differences are it's much faster pace. It's harder on the talent because there's so much access now for talent to be viewed, which is great if you're building a brand and building your character. But there's not as much latitude for making mistakes. I mean, everything you do now is captured on the internet somewhere. It's on YouTube, it's on Twitter, it's on Instagram, it's on TikTok. So as a talent, you really have to be judicious in your choices and what you're doing with your character. You have to be judicious in your choices, what you do outside of the ring. There used to be a lot of hotel fights back in the day and, guys playing rental car tag. You know what that is? Where you get your rental car and their rental car and you try to bump into each other.
Some Days of Thunder stuff?
Yeah, there was a lot of that. Like you wanted to make sure that the Steiner brothers left way ahead of you because if they knew you and saw you, they'd run into your car over theirs. And there's not so much of that chaos now, whereas today it's a much faster pace and there's so many options for the fans. It's incredible to see how much this product has grown worldwide.
You've got really into mentorship too. At this stage in your career. I mean, what's that? What caused it? What's it like? I mean,
I think mentorship is just, I'm very lucky. It took me a while to sit back and realize this, but since I've been in 95, anybody that has ever been anybody in this industry since 1995 and a little bit before, I have worked with them. From Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, Sting, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Rock, Stone Cold, John Cena. I mean, it goes on and on. Shawn Michaels. I mean, just Undertaker. Anybody that's ever been anybody, I've had a chance to be in the ring with them. Goldberg, Jericho. The list goes on and on. So to be able to take some of the experience from the different matches I've had, whether it be in front of 103,000 people or to be in front of a smaller crowd, to work in different countries, to work in different regions. In the U.S. alone, you'll have a different show in Macon, Georgia than you'll have in Seattle, a different reaction in New York than you'll have in Dallas. And to try to help the younger talent navigate a lot of those feelings sometimes. We were talking about feelings earlier, it's funny. But sometimes you get wound up on stuff and you always have to keep your ear to the ground and listen to your audience, because the number one thing, and I'll take this to my grave, it's not about the moves you do, it's not about the costumes you wear, it's about making a connection with the audience so they remember you. They have to be invested. You have to get them emotionally invested. If you're a bad guy, they have to hate you. If you're a good guy, they have to love you. If you're anywhere in the middle, you're in dead man's land.
Talk about making a connection, man. The lady wrestlers have been on the rise. It's been fun to watch. How cool has that been to see the ladies transition into this?
It's been great. I think it's a long time coming. I think, the industry years ago was always very tough for women. All industries were tough for women. I have a daughter, so I'm a pro advocate for women getting equal respect in doing things. And in wrestling, it's been fantastic to go from the older days of the bra and panty matches or that other kind of stuff to see women that go out there and compete and know MMA holds and know transitions and understand character psychology, and their match has, heat, it has comebacks, it has false finishes, it has drama in the storytelling of the match. And to see it put on a level that's really good, where I can honestly look at some of the guys and say, you fellas might want to lace your boots up because that was a good match.
Right.
Are you seeing that reflected in the audience? Like, are you seeing a changing audience too?
You see the audience has changed. I mean, early in the Attitude Era, like when I was in the Attitude Era, it was insane. I mean, it was the rock and roll lifestyle, and it was crazy, and it was all, polite way to put it, it was all TNA back in the day. It was all, where now we're getting more into the quality of the athlete, the quality of the performance, and the fans are smarter. With the internet, the fans have been able to really research and find what they like, where years ago, without the internet, the fans just got what they got. Now they can hunt and find what they like, and they know what they like, and they respond to what they like. And that's definitely a challenge for the younger talent today, to stay up with it and to stay current.
Mm.
The schedule is crazy. When
That's
it comes to it's not
No.
man, I remember just growing up feeling like there was a different show every other day in a different city.
When I was running hard, I went 19 years in WWE, I think, without missing a single international tour.
Really?
We had one in the European tour was in spring and fall, and those were 12 days. And I think I went 19 years without missing a one. We worked 4 days a week, sometimes 5 days a week. Every 6 to 8 weeks, we have a 7 to 10 day international tour, depending on if we had to come back for TV or not, or if we did the TV programming internationally, or if we take the TV before we left. So yeah, I've literally worked 240, 250 days. I think I've worked as many, I think, as like 280 was probably one of my higher years early on. It's not that hectic now. I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
A couple of days of TV a week, it's not that bad. What's bad is, working a show in LA, jumping on a plane at midnight, flying to Australia, getting in at 11 in the morning. Time you get out of customs and get to the hotel, it's 1 p.m. You eat, you shower, you shave, go to the building at 4:30 for a show at 6:30 or 7.
What's one of the most chaotic days you can remember?
Chaotic days?
It could be a week. I mean, it could be like a period of time where
no,
you were
the
like,
period of time when the volcano went off in Iceland. We were on tour in Europe, and it's crazy. We were on tour in Europe, and it was 33 hours to get to Belfast because we had a show in Belfast, and everybody else was worried about getting home. And my boss at the time was from Ireland, and he has Irish ancestry, and we were not doing a show in Ireland. So we got to Ireland after 30-something hours of traveling, and I remember going to my room, boats, trains, bus rides, van rides, and we finally get to Belfast. And I got to my room so exhausted. I lay down on the bed. I never unpacked my bags or anything. I just wanted to lay on the bed. And I just started to fall asleep, and then I felt water pouring on my head. And I'm thinking to myself, if somebody got in my room to play prank games and is pouring water on my head, there's going to be a 187 in Belfast, Ireland. So I looked up, and the water's pouring out of the ceiling. This is a nice, newer Hilton hotel in Belfast. So I got my bags. I went downstairs. I went to the front. I said, the ceiling's leaking. I need a new room. He goes, what? I said, then all of a sudden the phone started ringing, and then I saw people panic. I said, there's water pouring out of the ceiling in my room. Can I please have another room? The guy gave me another room. And as I was going back up to my room, I found out the next day that Batista, who was one of my dear friends and I loved to death, Batista got to the hotel, and again, this traveling was so tough. He had poured in, because they have some of the hotels will have these bigger bathtubs for bigger guys. They're not necessarily garden tubs. They're just wider and bigger.
Yeah.
So Batista wanted to take a bath. So Batista ran himself a bath, sat on the bed, and fell asleep, and flooded his entire room. And he was like the room above me. So he did, I want to say, like over $100,000 worth of damage to the hotel, and he had to pay for all. But we were stuck there for, I think, 8 days in Belfast. We were having meetings. One of the times they were like, oh, well, we can take a boat from Belfast to New York. I'm like, hey, the Titanic sailed from here. Let's not.
Yeah. Look, I think we've learned a lesson.
They've learned a lesson. I don't need to cross an ocean voyage. Like, I was looking at shops. I think I was going to buy a shop in Belfast and become a cobbler. I thought that was going to be stuck there.
Yeah.
But we eventually got out. But it was literally planes, trains, and automobiles. It was that was probably the most hectic tour ever.
I like thinking of your alternate life as a cobbler, though. Like,
I just didn't know
what
what to, I just didn't know what to do with myself. Actually, I stayed out of trouble. I went to the local mall. I bought a PlayStation 3 because,
There you go.
and I sat in my room and played God of War the entire time, and stayed out of the Irish pubs. So I just, because I just figured, I'm not going to go out drinking. I'm not going to get in trouble. I'm going to sit in my room and play God of War.
There you go. There you
and
go.
then I actually gave the PlayStation to Seamus's little sister because the unit doesn't work in the U.S. So she got a free PlayStation out of it.
So tell us about AEW. What makes it so special, and why are you involved?
I'm involved with AEW just because I saw the opportunity on the wall. Sometimes you're in the same place for a long time. You want new opportunities and you want to challenge yourself. And I wasn't seeing an opportunity for me because I'd been there so long and had a lot of tenure, and I wanted more to challenge myself, and I wanted to do commentary. And Tony Khan gave me that opportunity to get into commentary, to kind of dip my feet in that, to wrestle a little bit. I didn't want to do a full-time schedule, not at this stage of the game, and to try to have an impact in the ways that I can help some of the younger talent. And that's and AEW offered that opportunity. Super happy to be here. Super happy with how the company has grown, how well we're doing. We just did a show a few weeks ago and sold out Wembley Stadium in Wembley.
Nice.
That was 80,000 tickets, and those tickets were sold on brand alone without any advertised matches. So TV ratings are super strong over there. So to see this company that came together with a few friends, Chris Jericho and Cody Rhodes at the time, and Tony Khan and the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, they just had an idea to do a show, and then they built this company out of it. And it's been amazing because it gives a different alternative for wrestling fans, because for so many years, there was only one game in town. That was WWE. You watched WWE or you didn't watch anything else. You had to hunt and find, and now there's different style. There's a lot of work with AEW and NJPW, which is New Japan Pro Wrestling. So there's a different product with different athletes that have a chance to showcase their talents, and it's better for the fans. I'm a firm believer in diversity. Competition is great for growth, and it's better for the fans. It makes the industry hot again. It gives the talent more latitudes. You might not be successful in one company. You might go to another company and be successful, reinvent yourself. It's good for the companies as well, because then they can take a talent that might not be doing well and say, oh, but we can do something with that talent, and then give them an opportunity. Because when there's only one place in town to work, it's never good. And this weekend, AEW is taking over Seattle.
Again, that's going to be at Climate Pledge Arena. It's going to start Saturday. You're going to see AEW Collision. Tickets still available at AEWTix, TIX.com via Ticketmaster. They're starting at just $25, you guys. My sister's going. She is so excited. She's never been to an AEW.
Oh, give me your sister's
wrestling
name. I'll make sure she doesn't get in.
Fantastic. Her name's Samantha. Tell all security. Just block the doors.
Oh, you
everywhere.
heard me. You heard me.
Yeah,
Oh, well,
exactly.
you're mean. You're the mean sister, aren't you?
Well, actually, she is, if you can believe it. We're a horrible family. I'm the nice one. But she is, she's really, really excited.
Great.
And she's never been to an event before, and so I was really
She's
excited.
never been to an event before?
Never. Ever,
Is she
ever,
going
ever.
Sunday too?
I don't know about Sunday. I know she's going Saturday, but this is why I was so excited to ask you about a changing audience, because it's like, I think that people, when we were talking about, we're having Paul Wight on, we're so excited. I think there were some people that are like, okay, well, if I'm not a wrestling fan, am I going to want to go? And I wanted to be like, yes, because
Well,
it's entertainment.
It's entertainment, but here's the thing. It's a spectacle. Collision's great. It's one of the highest rated shows we've got going right now. Collision has been doing fantastic. Sunday is the Wrestle Dream.
Yep.
And that pay-per-view event, which if she wants to go to, I know a guy that can get her tickets for that on Sunday if she wants to go, or if you want to go.
Yeah.
I might know somebody and get you some tickets. That card is so stacked with wrestling. Like, I see Sunday as a wrestling fan's dream event, because there's so many matches. Some of the matches on this card could be main events on their own anywhere in the country. There's NJPW stars, there's AEW. Everybody that's anybody that's a star in AEW is on the show Sunday. So, and Saturday is going to be the lead up to Sunday anyway, because that's usually what we do in the business. We usually prime it really good for the next day. So it might be one of those kind of things. If you go Saturday and see if you like it, and then Sunday, will be like your mini-series part. Like you go Saturday, see a taste of it, and then Sunday is the end of your mini-series for this weekend in Seattle. So it should be an incredible event, and AEW taking over Seattle, Climate Pledge Arena. Pretty bad.
Well,
pretty bad. Apple. I was gonna swear, but I'm trying to be good. I did have a kids show, so I was gonna say it's gonna be real bad. Apple, and then I sound like the biggest nerd ever.
No, I like it. I like it. All right, you guys. Again, take Paul's advice. Check out Saturday. Go Sunday. So AEW Collision is Saturday. Tickets are $25. They are still available. Excuse me. They start at $25. Again, AEWTix.com or Ticketmaster will give you all this information again after we get Paul out of here. He's got a busy day. And then Wrestle Dream, AEW Wrestle Dream is the event Paul was talking about on Sunday. You're going to see some guys that are local guys too there, which is a huge deal. Paul, it's been really fun to have you in studio.
Thank you very, very much for having me. It's always great to be back in Seattle.
All right, you guys, do not go anywhere.